10.
Mark is a part of a group of less than 1% of individuals that actually act out and go to this depth of what he did, of this tragedy.
Mark Becker's parents tonight speaking of their son's illness and their mission to help prevent mental health tragedies like the one which took the life of Ed Thomas. Good evening, everyone. I'm Ron Steele. Amanda is off tonight. Did you know that in recent years, young men with mental health problems and issues have been responsible for every mass shooting in America? And obviously, these are cases far more complicated than simply men with violent minds. Did you know that before he killed Ed Thomas in 2009, Mark Becker dealt with very serious mental health issues? His parents say to prevent another tragedy in Iowa, the state must improve its treatment of mental health patients.
That somebody shot Ed Thomas.
One of the most difficult things, it's just living with, I have so many fond memories of things I've done with Mark growing up. That's changed now.
Dave and Joan Becker live with a harsh reality. Their middle son, Mark, shot and killed Ed Thomas.
We had been praying for the Thomas family fervently, and we couldn't imagine what it was like to be in their shoes.
This was a great friend. It was hard. So, yet, I have very fond memories of Coach.
They started a band. They were really good. They played.
It is difficult to look at old photographs, especially for Dave. Here's one of Coach Thomas with Mark at an AP football banquet, with their son on a senior night. Or this one of a little Mark as a one-year-old boy. They're looking at photographs from the life they once lived.
Although it's difficult to go and share our story, it's worth it.
The Beckers want to help Iowa families better understand mental illness and to improve mental health treatment in Iowa.
When you are a family member and you're going through this with a loved one, it is a very lonely, lonely world.
I noticed early on that Iowa rates in the bottom half of the nation in mental health and how we deal with care for them.
Care which came far too late to save the life of Ed Thomas. And we now know that Mark Becker's illness had other plans for that June day, too.
One of the first things that the psychiatrist told us is we should be very thankful because Mark's intent that day was to also take the life of Dave and myself, because we were poisoning the minds of the children in our community with our faith. And so you see how twisted that is.
That the kids had even witnessed it.
To this day, that really breaks our hearts, what those young people had to go through. They're 8 years apart.
With an enduring faith guiding them, the Beckers talk about their son's illness and hope they can help prevent another mental health tragedy in Iowa.
Yeah, he was always helping. We have to just cope with where life has brought us, but we know in our hearts God has a way bigger picture for all of this.
This is how Mark Becker looked during his Butler County murder trial. This is Mark Becker today, serving his life prison term right now at the Iowa Medical and Classification Center in Coralville. He is on medication, but still hears voices and has hallucinations. And during their most recent visit to see their son at the prison, the Beckers said Mark apologized.
And he said, "Mom and Dad, I just want you to know that I never meant to hurt my friend Ed Thomas. I'm so sorry for what I did." And so it really told us that he recognizes what he did, and he recognizes it was wrong, but at the time it was so right to him to do something like that because of the mental state he was in. And that's absolutely an insane thought. We know that because Ed was so close. Mark thought so much of Ed Thomas and had utmost respect for Ed. And for him to tell us and share that meant a lot to us.
It has been an amazing 4 years for both families, the Beckers and the Thomases. The Beckers, by the way, are often invited to tell their story and talk about their son's mental illness. Joan is writing a book right now, and they have found along the way that there are countless, literally hundreds and thousands of Iowa families dealing with the same kinds of mental health issues, what they need to get in there and get them diagnosed and get the best treatment they say is possible, but they say to do that, Iowa will have to improve the way it treats mental health patients. By the way, right now you can watch the entire 43-minute interview with the Beckers. It's on KWWL.com right now. Meantime, tonight,